Hi, I'm Dr. Mark, and I'm a voice teacher and stage director. Whether you're a professional pop or rock star that's wanting to take your performance to a next level, or you're just interested in making your car singing or shower singing easier and more comfortable and fun, I can help you get there. I'll start doing that today by reacting to and teaching you singing and performing tips that we can learn from the top performers around the world. Today, let's learn from Dimash performing Screaming in the 2019 Moscow concert. Here we go. We haven't heard him sing. We haven't really even seen him other than in these pictures here for this song. What's the function here at the beginning? Well, this first section, it's all about anticipation and building the energy there, right? So the visual form of silence is black, darkness, right? So we have this music that's just kind of building up an intensity, and so to match it visually, we have a relatively dark stage with just little accents here or there that feel a little sparse, a little mysterious, a little unsure, so it heightens that sense of anticipation. Love it. Where all of a sudden we get more going on musically, the lights pop up a little bit more to give us more anticipation. Again, it's building this energy. It's matching the structure of music, both with lights and music. Super cool, fun. The big question is, what's going to happen in the next level? See if you can spot it. Okay, pulls all the way back to black, dark. It's this nice intro that ramps up the energy to then set up this next song. Here we go. So what is this? There's this whole intro bit. It goes dark, brighter, builds the anticipation, goes back to dark, builds up with brightness again. We get these dancers on stage. What is this? One is it's building anticipation. It's getting us more and more excited for him to come out and to hear what he has to do. Number two, it also increases Dimash's status in our eyes considerably. It's like hearing all the music that goes before hearing a king or queen enter. It's like a fanfare. And so this serves that same purpose. If all of this amazing stuff happens before he's going to sing, then what does that mean is going to be like when he actually sings? It really kind of puts him and his performing up on a pedestal, which is awesome. This concert's about him and his singing and his performing. And so it suits his purpose really well, really ramps us up and gets us excited to listen to him. I feel trying to turn my heart into stone. Put up resistance to me, so I let you go. Oh, but the love inside just again. Okay, this posture when he walks in with both his palms up, and he's got this big smile. He's relaxed. He's got this black coat on that draws our attention to his face because it's sparkly, but it doesn't draw all the attention, and his light colored skin draws our attention there. It sets up this sense of benevolence, of friendliness, of welcoming, of bringing the audience in, but again, still keeps his status really, really high here. He really walks in like nobility. Upper two smile.
Uşağım Tunus Bağırağa Yenşin көңілінен мен сіздерге айтамын қазағымның жігіттері Талайып біздің жігіттерге жырдан асыл лақат ағайын Таныс әлі дейтамыз ба бәрібір Үлкен кеді кіші кедесін құрмет сәлем біл Өз ана тілін қасирлеген ардақтап тарата білген біз сөйлеме сейміз қыр
Okay, because when he's first walking in, and then in the section before this rap section, he's keeping it really speech-like. When he does have to go into this rap section, it just feels organic. He's just keeping in that same speech-like place. It's just a little bit more connected, a little more kind of in that rap-like of place where that legato line is still there. I know I'm kind of mixing classical with rap terms, but at the same time, but it's all the same type of thing where it's connecting that sound all the way through. So, really cool. He's using both his performing to create this consistent through line to engage our attention and to make himself higher status. He's also using his singing to allow him to seamlessly flow between styles, but also increase his status because being able to adeptly go from style to style in our brains, whether we're conscious of it or not, is really virtuosic, and consequently, it raises his status as well. That's really important. These different gestures that raise one's status on stage without excluding the audience while welcoming them in also raises the audience status with that performer. It makes them feel welcomed. It makes them feel empathetic towards the performer. And it makes them to feel part of it. So both what he's doing vocally and what he's doing with his body is really valuable to learn from. It makes the audience think his performing is awesome, and it is excellent, but it's the language that helps their emotions come along for the ride so they're ready to be excited and ready for an awesome performance without him really having to say it himself. His body language says it, all the performance around him says it, and then he just does his thing, and that alone says it on its own without him having to basically point at it or show attitude. He's able just to be charismatic, friendly, welcoming Dimash. But still, read as royalty on some level. Awesome. Is the dancer distracting or adding? I don't think he's super distracting because the majority of the light here is this kind of gray, lighter color, and he kind of washes into the background, and so he just becomes kind of an expressive form of what's going on because of Dimash's sparkly jacket and being in the spotlight and his face drawing so much attention. To me, it doesn't really distract all that much. It just kind of adds some more visual interest. Notice when he's doing the jumping and moving around and all the crazy movement, he's not singing. Smart move on the singer's part. The best time for a soloist to do all their big movement is when they're not singing, if they can get away with it, if the music allows it. Because then when they do stop and sing, they have still gotten the variety, but they're not going to be taxing their voice as much when they actually need it. It's a good way to balance it out and still kind of get that exciting movement without ramping up your heart rate and doing all these other things that are going to make it harder to get the breath you want and to keep that sound consistent and to sing in the way you're wanting to sing. It's just a way to kind of make things a little easier and still give the audience the performance that they're wanting. Singing wise, he went up way high. He really kept this open space. It was but there's some more height in it. It wasn't super wide here in the front like it is sometimes. And so it actually still kept a more classical type sound in it. He kept the vibrato in it. And so rather than sounding super pop-like, it actually was really kind of in the middle of pop and operatic in nature. Really kind of a fun sound. A lot of times he either goes extreme to one side or the other. This is one moment where he really lives really well in the middle. It's actually a really gorgeous sound. I love it. Notice that, yeah, was a lot brighter, is way on the pop side. How much wider it was in front and how much it was just out in the back. No height in it really. Really tall in the front, but really pretty collapse in the back with just almost a box shape out in the back. That's what got us that really bright pop and made it a little brighter and more shrill. Background singer in the back there, this guy that was just over his left shoulder, big smile on his face. Love it. Great sign of a background singer that shows that they're having a great time doing what they're doing. If they seem indifferent, if they aren't having a good time, if they're just doing their business, it doesn't really add to the song unless the song is more serious. And then if they're tapping into the emotion of the song, I'll buy it. But in a song like this where he's having fun, we're supposed to have fun, to have a background dancer having fun too, makes a huge difference as an audience member. Even if we're not super aware of it, it's just our subconscious, we still gravitate towards that and take that cue on and our emotions respond.
Why can't you hear me? I'm screaming. Why can't you hear me? I'm screaming inside. Yeah, I'm screaming inside.
Notice on those high notes how hard he's not working here from the throat up here. He's just keeping nice and relaxed, keeping that air consistent, keeping it moving, and letting the resonance and the mic do the job. Oh, hallelujah. So great. Love it. Notice what vowel he chose on that? Yeah, it's an ah.
Why can't you feel me? I'm screaming inside.
Loved it. Always do. I think my favorite part of watching him that popped out, one of the things that I really love about watching him is how much he enjoys the audience interaction. His face seems to light up when the audience sings back to him, when he's able to put that mic out. It seems like he enjoys that almost more than performing himself. And I don't think it's because he doesn't like performing. I think it's just that interaction and seeing that they are so into the song too, and that they want to be a part of it, that he's inspiring them to want to sing and interact. That seems to light him up. And that is really fun to watch and see. Before I was talking about him performing and presenting himself in a high status, almost royal type of way. And I think the temptation is to think that that's a bad thing, but it's not, because he's trying to lift that entire audience up with him and share that experience with them, make them a part of this performance that he's doing. They're not just spectators. He really wants them to be a part of that. Is that all the time? No, because that would kind of get tedious, and we really are there to watch him. But whenever he can, he seems to want to reach out to that audience and bring them up with him on that stage in some way, shape, or form. What are some things that we can learn from this today? Vocally, let's spend this week seeing what happens if we can sing, being aware of this open resonant space, this jaw release, but without overextending this front part of the jaw, without opening super wide in front, and see what happens. See what you discover. See if it makes things easier, see if it makes some things harder, and see what you discover. Remember, when you open up this back resonant space behind these back molars, that tongue's going to fall back into it. So don't be sucked into it. Keep that tongue nice and forward. When you're thinking about performance-wise, really think about trying to lift the people around you. To put yourself on a higher status level. Respect yourself. Try to present your body language that's open, that's welcoming. His palms up instead of palms out. Instead of pushing people away from you, see what happens if you welcome them towards you with both your body language and with what you're saying, and invite them to participate in whatever you're doing. And by welcoming them to be a part of everyday activities, you're going to notice when you step on stage that it's the same type of thing. You're just welcoming that audience to be a part of whatever you're doing in that moment and have a good time together. Vocally, another vocal thing that I want you to pay attention to this week is make sure that you're keeping this jaw relaxed. You can just rest your hands right here on the side of your face and make sure it's staying nice and relaxed and there's no place that's really tensing up and grabbing as you're singing. Also, make sure that your first priority here as you're singing is making sure that the sensations here in our throat are easy and relaxed and comfortable. No matter what pitch we sing, no matter what volume we sing, we don't want it to start feeling tight, tense, painful, or like there's pressure there. If you want a voice lesson or performance coaching, or want me to work with you or your group to help you sing easier or perform at a consistently higher level, book a time with me at mrperformingartsstudio.com. I look forward to working with you online.